In the 2015 movie Insurgent, the second in the Divergent trilogy written by Veronica Roth, the story of a dystopian American future continues to unfold. In this portion, one of the main characters is obsessed with discovering the contents in a box and doesn't care how much collateral damage she causes while trying to acquire and open it. When it's finally opened by the story's heroine, the old saying, "Don't ask a question if you don't want to hear the answer," is proven true. When she didn't get the answer she wanted, she vowed to destroy the heroine, the box, and everyone else who saw the answer. But she failed because the heroine and many others were committed to truth. When it comes to religion, it's possible the most frequently asked question where the answer is unwanted is, "What must I do to be saved?" The religious world gives many answers, but the Bible gives just one: believe and obey, Acts 2, verse 38. When that passage, and others like it, are shared with the questioner, the response is often a rejection of the Bible message as well as the person sharing it. They obviously don't want to hear it. The preferred answer by many is just believe, without any obligation to do anything about that belief. Many, if not most, religious people say, "We need to do something." Believe is doing something after all. But they give mere lip service to obedience, because when pressed, they will reject any connection between obedience and salvation. Contrast that with David, the man after God's own heart. Even while he was running for his life, he found time to seek God's will and do what God said. One such event is recorded in 1 Samuel 23, verses 1 through 13. David heard that the Philistines were attacking an Israelite city and asked the Lord if he should go help them. God said, "Go and attack the Philistines and deliver Keilah," verse 2. However, his entourage didn't like the answer, so he went back to God again. And again God told them to go, but added, "I will give the Philistines into your hand," verse 4. This time the entourage obeyed David, complied with God's instructions, and they delivered the inhabitants of Keilah, verse 5. When King Saul heard that David and his men were in Keilah, he gathered his troops to go attack David. Knowing the news would get back to King Saul, David went back to God and asked two more questions. First was, would King Saul come after him? Verse 11. Sadly, God's answer was, "He will come down." His second question was, will the men of Keilah surrender me and my men into the hand of Saul? This answer was even sadder. They will surrender you, verse 12. Knowing he could not give up, or destroy the people he had just rescued, or fight against Saul, David and his men left Keilah and avoided the fight. They were saved. The point for us in today's Morning Minutes in the Bible is how David's turning to God's word for answers and then actually doing what God said was critical in saving him from Saul. This is a pattern we will see frequently with David. He wanted to know what God said and was willing to hear the answer and then obey. Why won't we listen to God's word and receive the salvation he offers like David? If we want to have a heart like David's, then when we seek the question, "What must I do to be saved?" we must be ready to hear God's answer and obey. Don't be the person who hears the answer and turns away because it wasn't the one you wanted. Well, thanks for watching today's Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until next time, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.